Alright guys, now with the new season, a bunch of you guys have been requesting my brand new settings, sensitivity, HUD, and class setup that I use for the brand new season 1 of 2022 combo with season. So that is what I decided to do for you guys. So if you guys do enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Now the first thing we are going to be going over are the class setups. Now as you guys can see on the screen right now, I am using the Type 25 for the number 1 setup. Now I actually am using persistence for this. Now before you guys do judge me, in order to win ranked matches now you need to use persistence, which is what I'm using. I am using the Swarm, Advanced UV, EMP system. All of these are personal preference, alongside with the Kinetic, Nade, and Trophy system, and the Prize Fighters. And with my other perks, I'm using Quick Fix, which is great for respawns, and the Hardline perk, which allows me to get my streaks faster. Now this is just a simple rundown. I'm not going to be doing a rundown with every single setup, but I am going to be showing you guys the attachments right now on the board if you guys want to check that out. Now as you guys can see, I'm using the Monolith Expressor, the RTC Steady Stock, the Disable perk, the OWC Laser Tactical, and last but not least, the 42 round fast reload. If you guys want some more info on this setup, make sure you check out my video for the best Type 25 class setup, and let's get on with class setup number 2. Now up on number 2, we do have the Bison, the new and improved. Now me personally, I do think this gun is number 2 on the board. Most people do think the same, but others don't think that's the case. But in my personal opinion, I do enjoy using this weapon. Now like I said before, I'm not going to be going over every perk, streak, or whatever I use like I did in the first setup, mainly because I just wanted to give you guys a setup of how I'm going to be explaining these. But here it is if you guys do want to use this. Now in this picture above, that is going to be class setup that I use. Now as you guys can see, I'm using the Monolith Expressor, the MIP Extended Light Barrel, the No Stock OWC Tactical, and the large caliber MOA. Me personally, I've made a video on this weapon, so if you guys want to watch the full gameplay with these class setups, make sure you guys check out my videos in my channel. I've made a video on all these guns so far, besides one of them, which I will let you guys know what it is pretty soon. Up on number 3, we obviously have the M13. The M13, in my opinion, is definitely a top 3, especially with the disabled perk, which I've been loving a lot with the ARs. Now here is a quick rundown of what I use. Obviously you guys can use whatever is in this picture. Like I mentioned, it is personal preference. But for the attachments of this weapon, I ended up using the Monolith Expressor, the M13 Skeleton Stock, the Disable perk, which I think is personally one of the best perks to use for a weapon, the OWC Laser Tactical, and last but not least, the Large Extended Mag B. Now I personally enjoy that one, mainly because I do love pre-firing and spraying before I do entry into a point. So that is personal preference, and let's get on with class up number 4. Now up on number 4, we do have the Type 25 once again, but this time it is different, mainly because I have Skulker on this. This is my scrim and tournament setup that I use, not my rank setup that I've used before in the class setup number 1, which does have persistence and the Swarm, EMP, and I think it was Advanced UV. Those are obviously banned in scrims and tourneys, but like I mentioned, this is my class setup for scrims, so if you guys want to use this, feel free to use it if you guys would like. Now for the attachments, same thing as my number 1 setup that I showed in the beginning, but here it is again if you guys seem to forget what was going on in that one. And let's get on with number 5. Now up on number 5, we do have the CBR4, also known as the P90. Now this gun right here is a great replacement for an SMG if you guys want to use an SMG. I've been loving this gun. I've actually been using it a lot lately. Here is what I've been using in a general basis in terms of perks, operators and whatnot. But for this setup, I do have the Mythic, but I know some of you guys may not have that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the default version. So as you guys can see, I'm using the Monolith Expressor, the OWC Markman, YCam Light Stock, the OWC Laser Tactical, and the granular grip tape, just so I can get that extra BSA for those long range fights, and I can make it more of a hybrid than just an SMG. Up on number 6, we do have the Bison once again. Only difference obviously is that this is a persistence class if I ever want to use this in a rank. Majority of my setups are doubled up sometimes, but I think it's just with the Bison and Type 25 this time, so don't worry, I don't think we're gonna have any more duplicates. But once again, if you guys did miss out, here is the setup I use. It's the same one as I mentioned before, the Monolith Expressor, the MIP Extended Light Barrel, the No Stock OWC Laser Tactical, and the large caliber MOA. Now up next, for all my sniper lovers there, I do have the DLQ Holidays. Now with the DLQ, I would 100% recommend using the Agile perk and the Toughness perk, since the hit flinch on this is pretty disgusting when you do get shot. So that is key with this. Now, I don't really snipe as much, but if you guys want to know the attachments, this is the one that majority of the pro players use. And as you guys can see, I'm using the OWC Light Suppressor, MIP Light, the YCam Combat Stock, OWC Tactical, and last but not least, the Extended Mag A. Up on number 8, we do have the one, the only, the brand new and improved DRH, which is a 3-shot weapon. Now, I know I made a video with this recently, and I didn't know this weapon was actually getting a buff anytime soon, but they did end up announcing it. So I don't know if I'm going to be making another video on it anytime soon, but if you guys would like the attachments for the DRH, I'm using the Monolith Expressor, the OWC Ranger, the No Stock, OWC Tactical, and the 25-round OTM mag. Up on number 9, oh, and I lied, I do apologize, but we have a third Type 25 setup. Now this one here is different, and I can tell it's different. Yes, I'm a heartbeat sensor noob. Yes, I am a whatever you guys want to call it, but this is my S&D class for rank, because some of this stuff is banned in scrims and tournaments. But it looks like I do have a rank class, a scrim class, and an S&D class for rank, and this is the one I use right here. Now, I guess this setup is mainly for S&D, mainly because I have the ghost perk and the heartbeat sensor. Now, the ghost perk is key because a bunch of people are running heartbeat sensors, and if you guys don't want to get really seen by those, that is the perk to use. It is actually the green one, as you guys can see right there. But obviously, the setup is the same as before: the Monolith Expressor, RTZ Steady Stock, Disable, OWC Tactical, and the 42-round fast reload. Now, up on number 10, we do have the PPSH41. Now, me personally, I haven't made a video on this just yet because I've been trying to figure out what attachments are the best for myself and for you guys, so give me some time to do that. Now, the setup that I'm obviously using for this are right here. Now, these aren't the best, I was just playing around with it, but if you guys want to use mine that I've been using for now, feel free to do so. I'm using the Monolith Expressor, the Banner Heavy, the No Stock, OWC Tactical, and the 55-round light reload. Now, keep in mind, the recoil on this is pretty bad if you guys can't control it, so like I mentioned, be aware of how you're using this weapon. This is just one of the setups that I've been using a bit. I'm not entirely sure that I like it fully, so give me some time to make a new one, and I will update you guys as soon as I find the best one for you guys. Now that you're done with the class setups, let's get on with the sensitivities and settings. Alright guys, we are going to be starting off with the basic settings first, and then we will advance from there. Now, I'm not going to be going through each and every single one of them. I am just going to be letting you guys screenshot or pause the video as I slow down really slowly. So feel free to do whatever you guys would like as I scroll down. And then once we are done with this, I will be giving you guys some key information with these basic settings, and that is the first one, which is a damage number. Now, with damage number, I personally think it helps a lot. I wouldn't keep it too high in terms of the transparency, mainly because you obviously want to see what's going on in your screen. But basically, when you're shooting someone, it basically shows numbers, and with those numbers help me or give me an idea as to where I'm wallbanging someone, or if I throw a nade, I can see where they're from, just so I can give my team some info in terms of where people are getting damage from. Now, as I keep going down slowly and slowly for you guys can see that my always sprint is on 80, which means I have the ability to walk and run if I want to, which means my sensitivity for my joystick is pretty sensitive. So keep that in mind when you guys use this. Another thing that I would want to talk to you guys about is the camera FOV. Now, my camera FOV is at 78. Keep in mind, I do play phone, so that is one thing to go off of. Now, the difference between 78 and I guess low 60 FOV is a huge difference. The higher the FOV, the more you see across the map. The lower the FOV, the less you see across the map. And obviously, my FOV for FPP is at 100, and marker settings is personal preference. It's basically showing you how big and how, I guess, well you want to see those markers on your screen. And then minimap settings is also personal preference. So now that we're done with the basic settings, let's go on with the audio and graphics. Alright guys, now that we're in the graphics section, with the graphics, I would recommend using Ultra, which is basically 90, 120 FPS. Now this one right here, if your device is compatible, I would 100% recommend it, since it increases your performance and actually makes the game feel really smooth like it's an actual PC game. And then anything else besides this section right here, I guess is not really too important. So now that we're done with that, let's get on with audio. Now, the effects that I use for my gameplay is obviously the tactical effect and the pink color. Now, I would recommend using a bright invisible color, mainly because you'll know what's happening instead of using like a bland color, I guess you could say. Now, pink, in my opinion, is the most bright and viable one to use. And then obviously the get hit hint that I use is basically when you get shot, you see like outer lines on your screen to know which direction you're getting hit from. And for that, I would recommend using the green one, since that it's also very visible and doesn't really camouflage with anything. But now that we're done with that, let's get on with the sensitivity. Alright, now before you guys do my sensitivity, just know I am not lying to you guys. This is not a fake sensitivity settings video. This is actually the sensitivity that I use, and it's actually super low, so just keep that in mind whenever I do show you guys this. Now, as you guys can see, for speed acceleration, I use a 41, and then everything else is 69, 48, 48, 63, 33, 55, 45, 40, and 93. Now, I know I read that out to you guys, but if you guys want my personal opinion, anything for 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, and 8 times, I would not really recommend using, mainly because I didn't really set my sensitivities with those, because I don't really use those ACOG sites ever. Even when I do pick up a gun, no one ever uses those in competitive, so keep that in mind. And then for my firing sensitivity, I do use the 40, 47, 47, 50, 40, 45, 40, 40, and 40. Now, once again, 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, and 8 times, I would not really recommend using, since that's not really the best settings, I would say, mainly because I didn't really focus on finding them. And also, one new thing that they added in this is obviously the red dot hollow sensitivity, and the under firing sensitivity, and also the camera sensitivity is the red dot hollow sensitivity. So basically, anytime you have a gun that has a red dot or a holographic sight, the sensitivity will change. So just match that with your, I guess you could say, ADS sensitivity, and it will be fine. And then anything under that, gyroscope, I obviously don't use. And then it looks like that is gonna be it with the sensitivity part. And the last thing we're gonna be going into is the controls. Now, before we get on to the controls, I obviously use hipfire. I don't use ADS, so everything I have under here is listed as hipfire, which means I have to use my ADS button and shoot manually instead of doing it both at the same time with just clicking it once. And now right here, this is the HUD that I've been using for a while now. Now, this is a 4-finger claw HUD. I would 100% recommend using claw if you guys are switching over to phone or anything else. 4 fingers is the best way to go. Now, up on the board right now, I'm going to be showing you guys a picture of where to place what. Now, obviously, LI is left index finger. It is listed as yellow. LT is the green, which is actually my left thumb, which I use my score streaks and my movement pad with. And then on the right side, we have the red, which is right index finger. For that, I use my crouch, jump, scope, and my mini map button. And with my right thumb, which is the blue, I use my operator, my reload, my grenade, and my switchy weapon thingy. Alright, you guys, and that seems to be it for the video. That is going to be my best sensitivities, settings, HUD, and class setup for season 1 of 2022. I hope you guys did enjoy that video. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one.